Sometimes it feels like we've all woken up inside a film we don't remember auditioning for. The scenes shift daily. War, outrage, miracles, collapse, hope. And everyone's performing, whether they mean to or not. We scroll, we react, we argue. And somewhere underneath it all, a quiet awareness keeps whispering that none of it feels entirely real. The storylines contradict themselves. The characters change overnight. The soundtrack is engineered to keep the body tense. It's a full-scale production, shot in high definition. But something in the script keeps glitching. What if that sensation isn't madness? What if it's recognition? What if the whole spectacle exists to keep the audience focused on the screen instead of remembering that they're the light projecting it? The age we're living through runs on attention. Every headline, every argument, every emotional spike feeds a system that converts focus into power. In the visible world, it's called engagement. In the unseen, it functions like an energetic economy, a constant trade of human emotion turned into momentum. Fear and outrage move fastest. They guarantee participation. They pull us into the loop again and again until we forget we ever had the choice to step outside it. Think about how this loop feels in the body. The tightening in the chest, the quick scroll to check the next development, the small hit of relief when our side seems to win, followed by the next wave of tension when the story flips again. That cycle isn't accidental. It's a design, a self-feeding engine that runs on reaction. Some call this the harvest of Loosh. You don't have to picture anything monstrous behind it. Just see it as a system that thrives on emotional electricity. In its raw form, Loosh is simply life force in motion, the charge that comes from feeling deeply. In a balanced world, that current fuels creation and connection. In a distorted world, it gets siphoned into chaos. The product is the same energy we use to build, turned instead into fuel for distraction. Fear is the easiest current to collect. Dense, contagious, endlessly renewable. Generated with a rumor, a policy, a headline, a single viral image. Fear pulls consciousness downward until imagination collapses to one narrow question. How do I stay safe? And when an entire population asks that same question at once, you can steer them anywhere you want. That's why the narrative never stops. It has to keep us oscillating. Panic to hope. Outrage to exhaustion. Because if motion ever paused, we'd feel our own rhythm again. We'd remember that energy was never meant to be mined. It was meant to move through us and out into creation. Awareness breaks the circle. The moment you witness fear, without feeding it, the current reroutes. Clarity instead of currency. This isn't denial, it's sovereignty. To observe the manipulation and still remain calm is the quiet rebellion the system cannot monetize. Start with your own field. Step away from the noise. Hear the hum beneath it. Feel what's yours and what isn't. Notice how quickly borrowed emotion evaporates when you stop identifying with it. Then take that reclaimed charge and pour it into something that builds instead of bleeds. Art, movement, conversation, silence. Every person who steadies themselves in chaos lowers the global interest rate on fear. The old economy can't survive that. It depends on constant reaction. When reaction stops, yield disappears. Coherence spreads like a different kind of contagion, one that doesn't drain, but restores. Maybe this whole age is an initiation disguised as collapse. Maybe the false world exists to teach us how to feel truth again. When every external signal contradicts itself, the only compass left is internal knowing. That's the point of the pressure, to force remembrance through contrast. The theater is still running, but people are waking up mid-film. They're realizing they can walk out anytime they choose. The projector only works as long as we power it. Once we stop paying with fear, the show loses light. This isn't about fighting darkness. It's about refusing to energize it. The antidote to manipulation isn't more resistance. It's mastery of attention. When you hold your center and let emotion move through, without letting it own you, you end the harvest in your personal field. That's where the larger field begins to heal. One human choosing coherence over chaos dismantles an entire strand of the grid. Multiply that by thousands, and the frequency architecture starts to rewrite. So maybe the movie was never meant to destroy us. Maybe it was meant to wake us up, to show us how easily we give our power away and how quickly it returns when we stop selling it for comfort. You don't have to fix the world's stage. Just remember, you were never a background actor. You're the light behind the reel. And the moment you remember that, the script changes, the scene dissolves, and what remains is pure creative force, ready to build something true.